Zoe Goraya, and I'm in my third year doing commercial law degree, and I'm running to be your Vice President of Regent Street and LTS.
Thank you. Thank you. Tashin.
It's Tashin.
Tashin.
Hello. Hi. My name's Tashin, and I'm running for. I'm in my third year of university studying politics and history, and yeah, my mind's gone a bit blank now. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm running for VP for Regents and LTS.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Hello everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I am your Vice President and I am rerunning.
I'm just going to have a short statement from
Yes, good evening everyone. My name is Angela and I'm the Deputy Returning Officer for these elections, and I have a statement to read out to you. Some of you may have seen it already on the UWSU website, but if you haven't, here it is. Following careful consideration by the Returning Officer, and Mr. Mahmood has had his nomination accepted to stand for the position of Vice President of LTS and Regents. And Mr. Mahmood is eligible to contest in this year's UWSU election and can now start actively campaigning. The Returning Officer, who makes a dispassionate judgment on issues regarding election regulation and has accepted the evidence provided by Mr. Mahmood. As previously stated, UWSU has followed the correct procedure for elections and, when necessary, has sought advice from the Returning Officer. Following this, the election results for this position will be announced next Friday at the Undercroft and in the Forum on the 14th of March.
Thank you. So we're gonna dive straight in and coming to you first, current VP of Regents and LTS. You spoke a lot in your manifesto about continuing some of the things that you proposed for this year. What has stopped you from completing that in this term? You spoke a lot in your manifesto about continuing, this year's manifesto about continuing the work that you did or that you plan to do in your previous manifesto. What has stopped you from completing that this term?
Like what exactly? If you could be a bit precise.
Just because you said that you're going to continue, but in your previous manifesto you promised to actually implement it.
Well, what's that? Recorded lectures. Yes, recorded lectures. Wonderful. Recorded lectures actually wasn't one of my policies from last year, okay. But I actually I took it from one of my amazing rivals from last year. No, I took it from Kora Shamini from his manifesto. And this is something that's been implemented throughout the whole year. We've had a pilot module being implemented in every SSH department, and we're in talks to make it happen for at least all core modules for next academic year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
On that point, just in your last year's manifesto, there was some other things about like dissertation workshops, field trips, a common room in LTS, the QH being more promoted.
All right, let's take it one step at a time. You spoke about, what was the first thing you spoke about? Dissertation workshops. So we actually, if you saw my refurbished manifesto at the beginning of the year, I actually changed it.
I only had like 10 minutes to look at it, so I didn't really get the point.
Well, you should have had more than 10 minutes. It's a serious job.
Sorry. I just found out you were running, and it only just got put up.
Okay. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Yeah, sorry. So just you were talking about dissertation workshops. I actually changed that to more dissertation visits with your advisor. And that has actually happened. It's been passed in the faculty board meeting. What else were you asking?
Field trips.
Field trips, that's part of Let's Go. Field trips is part of the Let's Go initiative with Khalid. That's been done. Common room, we've been doing our best to refurbish the common room in Wall Street. We're bringing in a pool table, so that's pending at the moment. What else is it? LTS Student Union office. I actually said in my policy last year that we are to bring in an office or at least have a presence. We've had a great presence all year. Of course, you could argue and say that we should have been more present. Yes, okay, that goes without saying. But we have maintained a great presence throughout the whole year. And we have, it's not completely approved, but we're in talks to make the registry office that's unused in LTS become the new student union home. Okay,
I do think that's great, but I've been a student this year, and I haven't seen that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Zoe, I'm going to come. Zoe, I'm going to come to you first. You mentioned in your manifesto about the SU having an open door policy. Can you elaborate more on this?
Okay, so all the SUs, we say, yeah, come in, you know, join us, we're really open. That's not true. It's so cliquey. I'd be so intimidated to go in there. And I'm sure a lot of people will feel the same. I think we need to step out of that office and come into these open areas and say, hey, you know what, like, this is what we're doing tonight. We've got a big debate on tonight. Why don't you come down? Otherwise, how are you going to know? It's intimidating to go into this glass box when all these like people that know each other are sitting around. And I think that's what I want to do, get us out. Does anyone else feel the same? Who feels the same?
No one.
Why are they all clapping?
No one.
Why are they all clapping?
Muaz, let her finish. Let her finish. Are you finished?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'm going to move it to Tashin. What are your views on this?
On the
Are you intimidated?
On the idea of their...
No, that's what she
Muaz, relax. Muaz, relax.
Okay.
What are your views on the need for there
Sorry, I need
being...
the loo at the moment, so I'm kind of like...
What are your views for there to be an open door policy for the
I think in regards to this student union, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more open in terms of its support for all societies. And also, in terms of communication, I've done my service for the past 2 months. I've been going around speaking to every student in Cavendish, Regents, all campuses, and in Regents in particular, a lot of them have said they don't know what the student union does. They don't know what the role of the student union is, what it does 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. as they walk into the union, so there's no transparency, there's no accountability either. And so that's something I feel like is really important. Students need to know what the SU is doing and how it's progressing. So one of my policies is accountability and transparency. So I want to be accountable to you as a Vice President. I want it to be a bottom-up approach. I want students to drive the SU, students to engage in events, students to engage in decision-making rather than a top-down approach. And I want to be accountable to you. So the way I want to implement this, which hasn't been done, personally think, is an itinerary every single week, what the SU is doing, what progress it's making, what faculties it's focusing on that week in terms of employability, teaching, societies, integration with all campuses, and that way the students themselves will be able to see, okay, this is what's getting done on Monday, this is what's getting done on Tuesday, this is what's getting done on Wednesday, oh, that's what's happening on that time. So there's time slots, and then students will be able to know, okay, if that's happening today, I can come in and speak to them about what ideas I have in that sense.
Yes.
So,
Thank you. Zoe, I'm going to come back to you again. What is learning futures and how...
So I don't get to say anything about that?
Well, do you have a point to make?
Of course.
Okay,
my office is not intimidating at all.
Okay,
open door policy, my door is always open to anyone. I'm not always in the office. I'm always around campus as well. We have so many students that come in and out and ask me whatever they want. I haven't received any complaints of my office being intimidating. And you talk about a bunch of people standing in our way. Have you been to Harrow? Have you been to Marylebone? Have you been to Cavendish? It's all the same. It's all students in a students' union office. You can't tell them to leave. It's their office.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that if we get out there and I talk to more people will be like, yeah, come in.
We are out there. And of course, you're right. We should get out there more. And in terms of transparency, of course, I've been updating everything I've been doing, you know, whether it's speaking to people, whether it's schedule every week. That sounds great. That's something.
Walking into uni at 2 p.m.
Schedule every week. That's something that, you know, I'll definitely take on board. And in terms of transparency, I update everything I do. You know, you can check my Facebook. I talk to students. You know, we're always with the SSAs in the foyer speaking to students about what's going on. So, you know, obviously there's room for improvement, and I take that on board. Thank you.
Okay. Now coming back to you, Zoe. You spoke about anonymous marking. Would you like to elaborate on exactly
Yeah, sure. So I don't know if you know, but at this campus, obviously we have anonymous marking for our exams, but for our coursework we don't. And you might be discriminated on ethnicity or on gender or on race, and I think this is completely ridiculous. It might be subconscious and it might be conscious. You don't know, but the fact is that we shouldn't have to face this problem, and it's not a hard thing to do. If we campaign for it and we really want it, you know, ethnicity, race, or gender should not be, anything in this day and age. There are some facts about it, like women tend to get more average grades and men seem to get like more higher and lower grades. You might have even seen it with your own friends. But yeah, you can look into it. It's on the NUS website, but it's something I'd really campaign for, and I think it's really important.
Okay, sorry, can I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. One thing that I want to add to that is in terms of grading and in terms of achieving the grades that you want to do, everyone has the ability and the potential to be whoever they want to be and get wherever they want. Okay, one thing that I want to make compulsory is called pastoral support, which the top universities in London have implemented it. Queen Mary have implemented it, King's, UCL. What this involves is personal tutors and students engaging, communicating on a regular basis. So making it compulsory for students and teachers to meet every single month, and that way students can come up to the tutor, have the one-on-one support, talk to them about a coursework that they don't understand, why they didn't get first in, how they can improve, because the module handbook is quite vague, and this way they create a very strong bond with them, and at the end of the day they're going to be writing their personal reference. You don't want a generic reference, you want candidates to stand out against all the other universities in London and be part of a University of London uni.
You want to make this compulsory?
Muaz, before we touch on that, I just want to go back to the anonymous marking. What are your views on?
No, I agree with that. As Jamal said in his campaign 2 years ago, mark my words, not my name, and that's the whole point. This was something that was implemented by the previous SABs. I know we're still talking about it and everything. No, I know it's still an issue, but this is something that the university has already. Already implemented this 2 years ago, and we're still pushing for it. And this is still something that's constantly brought up in the faculty board meeting. Something that I'm currently pushing.
To actually do it, that actually really cares about it.
Sorry, what was that?
Maybe it takes someone that actually cares about it and really wants to do it to push it through.
No. I respect your policy.
I want the quality of my work, not my name.
I agree with you.
Okay, Muaz,
but I'm just saying, this is something. Please. It's like you've taken what we're already doing and giving yourself credit for it.
Please.
No, I wouldn't ever do that.
Settle down. Zoe, Tashin, you mentioned bringing societies together in your manifestos, but you both spoke two different ways about doing it. How would you, you're both different ways, how would you?
Okay, so one thing that I want to, what I've mentioned in my manifesto is societies need to be integrated from all campuses, and the way to do this is to set up an actual student forum which connects all societies from different campuses and then have that integrated into Blackboard. So even though you're not signed up to a certain society, you'll be able to know what Marylebone's doing. They've got a careers event there. The business society's doing an internship promotion day. I can go over there and have a look at what's going on. That way you can meet different students and you can get involved in your student experience, and there's that integration, and everyone's a lot more connected that way.
Okay. And Zoe, how would you?
Yeah, I think that's great, and I really encourage inter-society things. But I do think if you want, you can go on Facebook and you can just look there. The way to do it is to get captains and heads of societies to meet each other. And when they do that and when they interact, I'll be like, oh, you know what? I really like Didge. I met her at this thing. I want to go to her event, not because a website's telling me to.
Okay. And before we go to the audience, Muaz, do you have a?
You spoke about the advertise on Black. Yeah. This university don't allow student union media to access Black.
I've spoken to some of the lecturers and they said this is something that can be campaigned for. They start the petition and campaign for it across all campuses. This is something that can be viable, and you don't need any external funding for it. And that way, I understand, I do agree with the whole, getting the representatives, but both works as well, because a a lot of students, they don't turn up to Freshers' Fair, they don't sign up to societies, and they generally just don't know these societies exist and these events are going on. And speak to them, they're just like, oh, there's no atmosphere. I mean, in SOAS, you've got events buzzing every single day. It's because of this tightening communication that they have, and I want to replicate that. And I feel like our university needs to get involved in that.
Right, thank you. I'm going to open the floor. For questions for them. Go to her first.
Hello. So I have a question about the QH, which is obviously the newspaper based here. Other universities have kind of like student editors, and Jamal, who set it up, also kind of he's written in every issue since he left uni. And I just wondered whether more control, you think the QH should be given more control to students?
I'll answer that. I myself haven't written anything in the QH apart from a welcome speech and a welcome back speech, and that is purely, because it's a students' paper. It's not students' unions. We as SABs shouldn't be writing things. We shouldn't have weekly updates in there.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I don't know a lot about it, but if that's something that concerns you and you feel like more student voices should be heard and it should be pushed, and maybe from other campuses as well, if this is something that you feel like needs to be done. I do think as an editor, it might be a bit too much full-time work for a student, but maybe part-time, maybe editors of different pages, something like that, this all can be looked into.
I think this can tie into one of my policies, which is the skills recognition program. And what this does, it awards you certificates that you can, where your skills are recognised apart from your academic. So this QH, you can students can talk about the research projects that they're involved in, different activities that they're doing, taking on leadership roles, teamwork skills, and that can be developed. So that's something other universities have also done. It's called a skills recognition program, and it gives you a certificate and you get a recognition for it. So when you do apply for a job after you graduate, you don't have to say, oh, you don't have to go out looking for work experience, because you've got the skills, you've got the work experience, and you've got your degree as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so Muaz already knows about this because I sent it to him the other day, but the LGBT Society released a report the other day kind of letting the uni know how safe our students feel on several campuses and across the uni as a whole, and Regent and LTS was kind of seen as like one of the most particularly intimidating campuses for the students to be out on and to feel comfortable being out. This is kind of a big question, so like I'm not expecting like direct answers, but what are you going to do to improve comfortability of students on this campus, or if you plan on doing anything?
What did you go out and ask students? I don't understand.
Well, you should have read the form by now.
How safe? No. I've read the form. I've read the form. It's for everyone else. So what exactly were the questions asked to students?
Would you feel safe as an LGBT person on campus?
Okay. And how many people did you ask this to?
66 students in the LGBT Society.
And what were the stats from that?
It doesn't matter. The fact is that students are being effective. It doesn't matter about the stats.
No, of course it matters. Of course it matters.
No, let her make her point. Let her make her point.
I'm sorry.
We
have 23,000 students in this university, and you're basing it on 66 people.
Hold on.
Exactly. They're a minority, and they should be protected.
Okay.
If people are feeling like that, what we could do... Sorry, can I answer this question? Sorry, in answer to your question, I think as a union in other campuses, we are well, we do quite well in Harrow and even Marylebone, I'm not sure. And you guys have like such a good event. You guys, I'm so sorry about that. We've had such a great event in Marylebone. And if we had more events here to educate people and just raise awareness and just, let people be more, open to it. But having more events here would help that. That's what I feel anyway.
Okay.
And I hope that would be okay.
Have you got any views on that?
I think the role of the VP should have a very neutral stance, respect everyone's views, everyone's beliefs, and I think everyone's ideas and views events should be promoted, within reason, of course. Something, within the welfare of the students and their protection needs to be the utmost importance out of everything. So if a student does feel like they're being intimidated or feel threatened, that's something that needs to be, a complaint needs to come forward for that and needs to be dealt with officially. But can you elaborate, what kind of threats, intimidations, kind of?
We have direct quotations that people put on the report. Like, one is, I was outed in a room full of people and told I should not be allowed to adopt because gay people will raise their children to be gay, and that's wrong. Last year, I was in a student hall's flat with 3 Muslim students who are overtly homophobic. It made me feel uneasy in my own flat. Homophobic comments toward gay people suggesting homosexual people should be killed. Those are the kind of things that people are hearing on our campus and around. We did this report last semester, towards the end of last semester.
Was there any complaints put forward to anyone?
Well, students don't really complain to the SU because they don't really know who they are.
As a students' union, as a sabbatical officer, we represent every single group, all the diverse communities as fairly as possible. Okay. Clearly, this is an issue, and this is an issue that we should actually, we shouldn't stop talking about it now. We should keep talking about it. Okay. Let's look for a solution to address this.
Do you have any solutions? That was her question. Do you have any solutions to this problem?
Just continue representing all students as fairly as possible. We've got a new diversity forum. This will be a great platform to represent every diverse student as fairly as possible. And that's the promise, not just from me, but it's a promise from the Students' Union, because we represent everyone.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to go get one more question.
This is for Zoe. I have a question that just came through in the SSA Marylebone Twitter from James Moulding, and it says, I'd like to ask Zoe, how can we trust her when she was elected for NUS last year but didn't go to the conference?
Okay, I'm really not offended by this question in the slightest. I wasn't available and I couldn't go. But I've done other things. I've done more than any other NUS delegate's done. I set up a Twitter account. I got
No, that's great work.
Okay, come on, no one else has done it, but I haven't finished. Anyway, and I made myself widely available to all students. I've made myself present. I've gone to society meetings. I've gone to, sports things and been like, hey, here I am. If you need anything, please ask me. Just because I couldn't go to one meeting. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Okay, this is a question for all of you guys, so please pay attention.
Firstly, I would say I'll be very, very quick. But Muaz, I think that you're very defensive, obviously, because obviously you spent the last year building something that is good, and you obviously have a strong following. But you're very, very defensive, and you're quick to defend, but not actually quick to proactively talk about what you're actually going to do to dispel people's points. You can't just say, "Oh, we've done it last year; it doesn't matter." You can't just dispel the LGBT community like that because, "Oh, well, we are representative of all students," because you're not, because people are still complaining about it. And I just got told
I was a candidate about an hour ago. So
you just got told you were. Well, you've been doing this for a year, so I don't really care if you got told an hour ago or 2 days ago.
So naturally, you haven't seen my manifesto.
Sorry, I haven't finished. You're talking over me. This is defensive. This is arrogant, and just thank you. Yeah. So I do think that you need to work a bit harder, and I'll say this publicly. If you do get re-elected, I think you need to work a bit harder on actively changing things that people are coming to you and complain about. It's not good just saying, "Oh, well, it's changed last year." Anyway, to all three delegates, what are you going to do about the slight segregation issue viewed from other campuses with Regent Street? Now, this is not directed negatively in Regent Street at all, but what are you actually going to do to integrate Regent Street with the other four campuses, especially things like with Harrow, to get us more sociable and get us more involved with each other, so that we can obviously be a growing 23,000 student body, as opposed to 5 separate institutions that don't really get along or don't socialise together?
Okay, I'll start with that one. Basically, as I was saying before, with the heads of societies and the heads of captains, they're all going to be from different places, and they're all going to be coming to say, come down to my campus, see what we're doing. Another key thing we've got going on at the moment that no one's really mentioned is the SSAs and what a fab job they're doing at the moment. They've all got different campuses, and maybe getting them to meet more and them doing more things, and really saying, encouraging our students to go to an SSA Marylebone event, encouraging and so on. And that's how we can do it. It really can be done.
Muaz, to you. How would you?
The same question was addressed last year. Last year we didn't have an SSA in Regents. There were a few names on a piece of paper, but there was nothing. And one of my policies last year was to, make a revelation for the SSAs, and we've been great this year. We've had at the beginning of the year, we had the Eid party, then we had the open mic event, then we had the first ever culture festival the university has ever seen, representing 15 different cultures, and then we had the Syria debate a couple of weeks ago. This has attracted students from all over Westminster, from Harrow, from Marylebone, from Cavendish, and from LTS. Okay, so that has clearly been tackled, and obviously I'm not going to say we've done enough, but this has actually been tackled, and I personally think we've done a great job at integrating the students from other campuses together.
I think that goes back to one of my policies about, I think that goes back to one of my policies about integrating all campuses and all society on this student forum and integrating that onto Blackboard. And I think that way everyone will know what each campus is doing, what's going on in this campus, what events are going on. And I really truly think that education is empowerment. So educating each campus about what their campus is about, through events. So inviting them to their own events and then, and raising awareness like that.
Okay. We don't have time for one more question, so I'm just going to give you guys 20 seconds, starting with you, Zoe, to just tell these people why they should vote for you to be VP for Regents and LTS.
Okay. Well, first thing, a lot of my points spread across all the union, so they can really be rolled out. But also, I want to give you a reason to really want to stay in LTS on Regent Street after your lessons. Don't just come in and leave. I want to give you a reason to get involved, want to be part of this. We're a force to be reckoned with. And, we've got students and opportunities, and there's a gap in the middle. And I want to bring the opportunities to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Gosh. Okay, I want to advance the student experience beyond lectures and beyond seminars, and what this means is in getting everyone involved through events. Like I said, like SOAS, having events every single day, having this buzzing atmosphere, and being able to integrate with all campuses, but not just within our university, but collaborating, cross-cultural collaborations with universities in London, SOAS, King's, LSE, all the top universities, and becoming a University of London. And this will all affect the ranking on the league table as well, through research that I've done.
And finally, you, Muaz.
Last year, I set my goals, my manifesto. I've achieved all of them. And if you want a second year of change, then vote for me. It's simple as.